What's going on, people? It's Mr. Back again with the DoreOnTour podcast. I hope everyone's fit and well. And as you know, that I meant to have a Peterborough fan in today, but I have not got one today. I couldn't find one, so I'm doing something different today. We've got 3 Forest fans. Just talk about tomorrow's game, have their opinion, and have a say about what they think will happen. So before we do start, like I said, if you are new to my channel, please do hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and like I said, comment below what do you think the score you're pitching it will be. Right. So before we do, let's let introduce to everyone. We'll start with the daily star, YouTube star, Mr. Des Oram. How you doing, Des?
I'm good, Dore. Looking forward to the game tomorrow.
And I don't know if you know, Des has been on a run, so that's why if people put in comments, he's a bit wet. So yeah. So
I did challenge Dore to run every day between now and Christmas.
Listen to me, I'm just come from work, Des. I'm too tired for that, Des. Come on, man. Give me some grief. All right. Next up, we've got Adam. How you doing, Adam?
I'm doing fine, thank you, Ben. How are you?
I'm not too bad. I'm just excited now. We're back at the seat ground. So
yeah, absolutely. Great atmosphere. I reckon it's going to be about another 20 or 28,000 again. And 2,000 Peterborough fans and all. So it's going to be a good atmosphere.
Yeah. And last but not least, we've got a special guest. He's first on this podcast. And we've got Nick. How you doing, Nick?
Yeah, I'm all right. Thank you. Dore, are you?
I'm not too bad. Like I said, it's good to have someone with fresh face, people's opinions as well. And like I said, people, this is about opinions, and then everyone will agree and disagree. And like I said, Nick will come in. People will disagree with Nick. If you disagree with Nick, put in the comments below. Right, so people, like I said, put your comments below and get everyone's predictions for the score. Right, tomorrow's game, and we'll start with you, Nick. Forest season. So what's your opinion on Forest season so far?
Well, dreadful to start with. Made a big difference when obviously Steve came in. Changed things around drastically, didn't he? I think pushing that harder up from the way he's done it suited the players better. So happy days at the moment, although it seems to have dried up in front of goal a little bit for the last few games, but hopefully that's going to change tomorrow.
Was Steve Cooper your first choice?
No, I would have gone with Chris Wilder. He was my first choice. Yeah, really? Yeah, I thought he'd be the man for us. But and I was a bit, when I read about what Steve did at Swansea, it was like, oh no, that's not good, is it? It sounded a bit like Houghton-esque, but actually he doesn't do that at all, does he? All the fans were like, yeah, you get ready for that. It's going to be a bit dry, a bit samey, but it doesn't seem to have done that at all. So proven wrong. I'm happy for that as well. I'll eat humble pie.
Yeah. So people like Nick, when Nick said he didn't want Steve Cooper, but like I said, he's proved it wrong. We've not been too bad. Adam, you're next. Last time, I think, when was last time you were on, Nick? Adam, come on.
It was after the 3-0 win at Birmingham away.
Was it? So you've not been on here since, right? So since then, we've been not too bad, have we, Adam?
No, we haven't, to be honest with you. I mean, obviously, we got outclassed by a Fulham side, about £90 million worth of players, but there's no shame to losing to a team like that coming down from the Premier League. But other than that, we've just turned it around under Steve Cooper. He's pulled this team together. I mean, it was a bit disappointing. We've had a couple of disappointing draws away at Reading, away at West Brom. West Brom, we could have won that. I mean, it was just, I think what the difference was, we just had that lack a bit of quality in the final third. But other than that, I mean, it was James Garner's best game this season since he's joined us back on loan. But other than that, really, we under Steve Cooper, he's done what he can do, and he's done a fantastic job, especially after the horrid start we've had. And he thrives for consistency. He doesn't take draws lightly, unless if a draw is a draw. But he doesn't give up, and he's got that winning mentality, and that's what you want as a head coach or manager at a football club. And but he knows what he's doing. He's just got, obviously, he's getting there step by step now, and hopefully in January, when you come across that, and probably later on in the show, he will get hopefully what he wants, really.
Before we get to Des, we've got a comment for you. It's nice to see a gorgeous Grealish on DoreOnTour. So yeah, people, he looks like a bit of Jack Grealish. So, but he comments, do you think he's not your voice, Jack Grealish? Des, as everyone knows, Des is on here all the time, like he always do, non-stop Des. But Des, we'll talk about, was it 0-0? Like the last two games been 0-0. We went to West Brom, didn't we? We've not been scoring, have we? So do you think we've got Peterborough next? They've not scored any goals the last 4 games. This got to be a bank of 3-point, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, really. I'm actually really confident tomorrow. You know, against if you look at the performances against the teams below us, we do tend to break them down. We've struggled a bit against the teams a little bit higher up in the table, but Peterborough's away form. You know, they've not done too bad at home. That, of course, the position says they're struggling. They've not done too bad at home, but when they go away, they struggle to score and they get beat quite comprehensively. I think if we're on our A game, you know, the front players are playing off the front foot, as they always say. You know, I think we've got a chance. I said a couple of times before the West Brom game, I fancied 0-0, you know, because of the quality of the defence, you know, against the misfire and attack. I just think we're going to have a bit too much for Peter, but just a bit like the Preston game, you know, when Preston turned up, not in form, you know, and if we score in the first half, I can see it being 2 or 3. You know, of course, they'll come and try and disrupt us, try and get about us, a bit like Luton, a bit like Sheffield United, you know, and make the game untidy. I think if we open them up, you know, run at them early, it's gonna tie them, and ultimately we'll just prove that little bit too good for them.
So I'm going to pull up the last time we played against Peterborough. So here's last time we played them. So we've got a good record against Peterborough. But like I said, it's not going to be an easy game. Like I said, I know they've not scored in 4 games, but last time we beat was 2-1 at City Ground. Nick, like, are you confident for Forest to get results tomorrow, even if we've not scored the last 2 games?
I think they've got to find that back of the net somewhere tomorrow. I think what you said, there's 28,000 people going, isn't there? So there should be a lot of people behind him. Should be some good atmosphere tomorrow. So yeah, I hope they're going to get a good couple of goals, 2 or 3 goals.
2 or 3 goals.
Yeah.
What about you, Adam? Are you confident like Forest could do get 3 points of Peterborough? Like I said, Peterborough, like I said, they're the team there. They're one of the teams like I think they play like they always put 10 behind the ball, but it's not going to be an easy game, is it?
No, it's not at all, because I think they draw the last game, and they
beat Derby as well. They beat Derby as well.
They beat Derby early on the season, exactly. But I think that was being at home at London Road, of course. But I think with that being said, like they drew the last game, and the tail's going to be up. And I listened to what Darren Ferguson was saying, you know, prior to this game, and he respects his club. You know, he said that, and he said we've got a fantastic stadium and etc. But I think what it is as well, he realises what we've got, especially within Brennan Johnson as well. And he was talking about how much of a threat he was last season at Lincoln, playing against Peterborough. But I think with Peterborough, they've got some good strikers. I think they've got the likes of Jonathan Clark-Harris, Shariki Dembele.
Yep.
I still think good midfield like George Grant as well, from a Forest player.
Ex-Forest player as well.
Ex-Forest player as well. But I think with tomorrow, I think they're going to be tough. So I'm going to say a 2-1 win Forest.
Just going to say, Dor, I'm just looking at the form for Peterborough away on my phone, and they've won 1 game away this season at Hull, and they've lost every other game.
Oh, Des, don't say that, Des.
Don't
say it. Right, you know what? If Forest lose tomorrow, Des is not coming here ever again. Because you can't come on in.
Don't shoot yourself in the foot, Dor. Don't shoot yourself in the foot. It is more to add to that. They've lost the last 3 games, 4-0, 3-0 and 2-0. So they've not even scored in the last 4 away games.
Guys, listen to me. If Forest lose tomorrow, I'm banning Des for free on DoreOnTour for free podcasting. I'm not having it. You can't come on here and be negative because no, I'm not having that. But it is what it is. People could it could happen, but I hope it don't.
We're going to win tomorrow. We're going to win.
We'll win. People in the comments, get your score predictions in if you can. And if you want to do a super chat or donate towards the channel, you can, and make sure you put a question there as well. Nick, like I said, it's been an up and down season for Nottingham Forest, but what player have you been impressed with so far this season?
It's got to be Spence, hasn't it?
Yeah, would you keep him?
Yeah, would absolutely keep him. Yeah, they need to keep him. I don't think they're going to do, are they? But not now. It's a shame about that up in Middlesbrough. But yeah, he's been outstanding, running up and down. Absolutely outstanding. It doesn't see. There's no grass he don't cover, is there? He's just always running at him. Always running.
So I think what about Lowe? What about Zoe? I think it's Lowe, Ziggy.
Yeah, Lowe's been really good. Yeah. Both of those have been really good. Well, I think when they came in, they weren't thought of much either, were they? Nobody thought.
No. Not really.
What are these guys they've got in now? Actually, again, proven wrong, or they can play to the way that Steve likes to play. So.
I was about to say, I know if I mention this player, Des will get really angry because at West Brom he got really angry when we mentioned Bong. Adam, you can't back. To be fair, right, at West Brom, I know we're drawing 0-0, and Bong, he's not been great. But the question is, right, and there's people in the comments as well. Who would you play left back? Would you play Bong left back, or bring back Jack Cobb back and put him left back, or put Jack Cobb back in centre midfield?
It's a good question. I think under circumstances at the minute, until we get a left back in January, because I know a TT is just coming back from injury at the minute, so I wouldn't play Bong at left back. I'd give Finn back a chance. I know he's a right back.
No, I wouldn't put him.
You won't know? Okay.
No.
Okay.
Right, Nick. Right. Nick and Daz, would you put Finn back right? Left back. There's more people in the comments as well. Get involved.
I wouldn't, because I wouldn't. I hear a lot of people say they'd put Spence over there because he's agile and he can do it. Do you know? I don't like it because you weaken it if you move Spence or Finn back or a right back to a left back. You're weakening a position. You know, especially a first choice player like Spence. I know you asked me about Finn back. Wouldn't do that. I wouldn't play Bong at all. I wouldn't have him anywhere near the City ground, to be honest. It's just as simple as that. The options, there's options in there now in midfield. I'm quite looking forward to. Is it Asay Tutu? Is that his name coming back?
Yeah.
You know, and I know we're all upset about Spence. You know, I'm like Nick. I want him to stay. I think they need to tie him down as quickly as possible. But when he did look good, and he was a right back. And again, what happened when you put? The reason I'm making this point, when he went to left back on dodgy hamstrings, as we was told already, you know, you turn in different ways, you're doing different things. His hamstring went within 45 minutes of playing there. Do you know? So again, you're risking certain things. You're taking sort of liberties with the right back position, for example, if you move Spence or if you move someone there, you're playing them out of position. And I think of Peterborough, for example, the likes of that Dembele.
Yeah.
If I was Lauren Ferguson and Dembele's available and Bong's playing, I know where I'd be playing him.
Absolutely, I agree with you.
But then you asked me about Finn back. I wouldn't, because again, it's weakening that area for the sake of it. You know,
I'm hearing Finn back's injured. I'm just hearing Finn back is he's injured.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, he's injured. Thank you, Malcolm Owen, because Malcolm Owen likes to do like a little message to me. So thank you there, Malcolm. I'll just mention that with Jack Cobb back. Like, do you think he was missed on against West Brom, Nick?
Cobb back, definitely. Yeah. He's been a star himself, actually, hasn't he?
Was you one of the fans like myself? I'm not going to be like, yes, I love Callback. Was you one of the fans thinking, I'm not a fan of Callback at the start?
To be fair, I've always quite liked him.
Really?
Yeah, I've always thought he was all right. Not sparkling, not where he is now, but I've never heard anything bad about him, really. Not like Bong, obviously, that's a different kettle of fish. It's
Yeah.
completely different.
Yeah.
Like you say, you wouldn't have him anywhere near the City ground, would you? So
yeah. 100%.
But I think Colback's come on leaps and bounds again. He's played really well. And I think we really did miss him the other day.
Would you put him left back or centre mid?
Probably centre mid, I think.
Really? So who would you put left back then? Who would you put left back?
It's a tough. It's always been a trouble spot for us, isn't it?
Yeah, people in the comments. Who would you put left back? This is the main thing. Like, as I said, I wasn't a Jack Colback fan, but he proved me wrong so much. And I will personally put him alongside Yates because, like, everyone knows I'm a Yates fan, so I'll put him definitely there, left back. Next up, we're talking about strikers, and like I said, we've not scored in the last 2 games. And we've got Brendan Johnson, Lolle, Graben, Taylor. We've got so much choice to put. But Adam, what front three would you put against people tomorrow?
Definitely Graben in the middle. I just don't think Taylor has got up to the expectations that a lot of Forest fans did expect from him since last season. I'm not no disrespect to Taylor. I respect him as a player and what he says, how he feels, etc.
Yeah.
But for me, Lyle Taylor's not a championship striker. He's
that's harsh. That is harsh.
Honestly, I think
people in the comments, do you agree or disagree with Adam? That's harsh. He's got 2 goals.
I agree with Adam.
Nick, come on.
To be fair, I do agree with him.
No, you can't. People in the comments.
The thing is with Taylor Dore, we don't play to his strengths, and we're not going to play to his strengths. I've always said we need to turn him around and face goal. He's a finisher. He's a good finisher, but we don't play that way. We play. Graben drops deep, Taylor drops deep, the ball bounces off Taylor. Graben's a bit better at holding it up and bringing others into play. Don't think Graben's perfect at that role either, but that's the way we play. And Taylor, he just doesn't hold the ball up. Get in between the post in front of goal, and he'll score. But we don't play with the wingers that bomb down the wings and a sort of 100-mile-an-hour game.
I think with Graben, he's a goal poacher, and that's what we play up to at the moment. Yeah. So for me, it's going to be Graben in that middle, and then you've got Zinkernagel, on one wing. You got John on the other wing as the front three. I tell you what, I really want to see Dale Taylor on the subs bench.
Oh no!
For Forest.
Right. Des, talk to Adam about Dale Taylor. Look, right. This is my opinion. Like, me and Des went to watch Dale Taylor for under-23s, and he's not ready. He's not ready for first team football. Because if we want to keep climbing up, this is my opinion, people. I just don't think he's good enough. Des, I don't know if you. What's your opinion, Des? Like,
he looked tidy in that game. Do you know that under-23s game? He had some nice touches, but he's not. You're right, Dor. He's not ready. This whole Northern Ireland call is elevated him in sort of expectation, I believe. Do you know? And he's going to be. He looks like he's going to be a good prospect. Do you know? He looked tidy. He looks a big lad for 17. He looks really sort of built out for someone that age. Do you know? So maybe in a year or two, I think Northern Ireland haven't got many to pick from, have they? And they throw people in who they have to sometimes, you know, and I think it's given us all a bit of a false sense of security with him, thinking he's a real prospect. Do you know, he didn't look too bad. He didn't pull up any trees in that game we saw, but it was a tough game for him to play in, to be fair, as well, because the keeper got sent off after 10 minutes and we was already 1-0 down.
Yeah.
You know, so it was really tough for him. But no, I don't know. Do you know, he's the type of player, isn't he? Back in the day, you used to see, I remember Marlon Airwood in that promotion season played the last game of West Brom.
Yeah.
Do you know, the guy you stick on last game of the season, give him a run out if your striker's injured or something like that, you know. And I think by the end of the season, maybe, I think when we're fighting for points and to get up the table, I'm not quite sure just yet.
People, if you are new to my channel, please do hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and like I say, if you want to ask any questions to Des, Adam, or Nick, please go ahead. And if you do want to do a donation towards my channel, you can as well. I'm going to get everyone's score predictions as well. And as well, people, put in the comments below, what's your score predictions? I'll start with you, Des. What's your score prediction for tomorrow?
3-0.
To Peterborough.
Yeah, if Bong's playing, 3-0 to Peterborough. Dembele hat-trick.
Adam, what's yours?
2-1 Forest. I think for Peterborough, it's probably going to be Johnson, Clark, Harris, or Tariq Dembele. For Jono and Grabban.
Yeah, I was going for it. Last but not least, what's yours, Nick?
I think it's 2-0. Samba making some cracking saves.
You can't forget Samba, can you?
No, you can't. He's been awesome for the last couple of games, hasn't he?
He's been awesome, but he's been a bit. I don't know. He's a bit. He's so laid back.
Oh, he is.
He's so laid back.
Style, though, isn't it?
But dude, it worries me so much, Des. Like me and Des went to the West Brom game, man. He worries us so much. He's like. The player's running down. The ball's still on his feet when the player's running down. So he's a fan. I love Samba to bits, but Samba, please stop it because my heart goes like so much. But yeah, so people, like I said, got everyone's predictions and says, well, people, comment below. What's your score prediction? Next subject, we're going to talk about like transfers, and as everyone's been talking about, we've got loads of transfers coming up as well. January is coming soon. And I'll start with you, Nick. You know, as you know, we're gonna be linked with A, B, Z, C, and everyone X, Y, Z. Nick, what positions do you think that Forest should get this season?
They need a left back, clearly.
Yeah.
And a striker, somebody that can consistently finish, get the goals that we need. Don't know who that is, but that's what they need to be looking for. I think they've been looking for certainly last season, weren't they? They were looking for somebody in the last transfer window, but nothing materialised. Yeah,
but don't you think that, as everyone's aware, if we bring a striker in, it's going to unsettle Grabban, as everyone knows. Grabban will get unsettled with bringing a striker in, but
he hadn't done a lot for the last couple of games, though, has he? So
I think he missed a header, didn't he? He missed was it 85th minute? Just missed a header, I think, but.
Yeah, and that was that one he should have squared off as well. That he missed.
Do
you know what I mean? That's
not. We're not going to talk about that.
My heart's still bleeding for it.
Don't. People are I think it was a Reading game, and there's been so much opinion about what if he should have passed the ball or not. As a striker, that's the first thing you do. But when you got two players unmarked and you could have tapped it in, it's difficult to fish. Adam. Forest, what in your opinion, where's your Forest strength?
The Forest strength at the moment, I'd probably say is because based on West Brom and that, I think our defence has improved a lot within the past several games. I think up front, we can score goals. Don't get me mistaken, but I think at the same time we are lacking that quality a little bit in the final third. We need someone who's going to give Jono some competition with that creativity, and I think at the moment, Grabban's doing his bit. He's one of the best strikers I've had with him in the past several years. I've always loved Grabban anyway, but I think we just need also somebody who's going to come in a lot younger than him, who's hungry to get some goals. We've been linked with Brewster a lot, but the way he's playing Sheffield United at the minute under Heckingbottom, I can't see him really coming here. Even though he knows Cooper very well, Cooper knows him very well. But I just can't see him coming here. As much as I love for him to come over here, I just can't see him coming over here. So we're probably going to have to look elsewhere at the moment, which is going to be, difficult. But at the same time, we just got to look a bit into further. And I got a lot of faith in Cooper to go ahead with that.
What about you, Des? Like I said, we spoke about. I spoke to Des about so many times about this position. We know left back is it's a big problem. I think Lowe's out for 2 months. So I think he can get recalled by Sheffield United. What position do you think that Forest need to get?
Well, at the risk of sounding like a stuck record, the times we have spoke before and here, Cooper's biggest bit of business in the window is sorting the fullbacks out. If we can get them both back on loan, it's a massive plus, isn't it? If he's got other ideas and other people, I say fullbacks, they're wing backs, aren't they? So they're a bit more specialised than even that. You know, the quick lads who are good going forward, probably not as good going back. But if you can tie them down, you know, they use the pace to get back in quite a lot. Those two are really, really important. Of course, if we can't have them, those positions are of paramount importance, because I think that's what sometimes, I won't say carries the team, that's the wrong word, that's what drives the team forward. Do you know, when Spence, if we're not doing too well in games, and Spence, he can wiggle his way through two players, do you know, or Lowe can put a good deep cross in or something like that, just to put the other team on the back foot and just to sort of relieve the pressure on us. So them two are really, really important. Around the pitch, you know, you look at the defence, the midfield, we've got more than enough to compete. Do you know, and even though they're not absolutely firing, and especially right now, do you know, Joe Lolly, Zinkernagel, Brennan Johnson, really, really good championship players. Any team would snap your hand off for them. Do you know, a few, 2 or 3, 4 wins, do you know, and the confidence really goes up. And that's what happened when Cooper come in. We just got to find a way to get back there. We've not been great recently. I'm not saying we're going to click into gear and win those games. But if we win tomorrow, do you know, you look at the run, do you know, we've got Swansea next week. If we went and nicked a win there, Cooper's going to be fired up. Everybody's going to be fired up for that one. Yeah. You know, momentum builds, and players like Joe Lolly, Lewis Grabban, you know, Brennan Johnson, you can see they're confidence players. Do you know, I was thinking when you mentioned the square pass for Grabban, we know that's enough to knock him off his form, because he was playing really well. You know, and he's rocked back on his heels again, shoulders are down, and it's like, oh, I should have done this. When he gets a goal, you know, when we get a few wins, if we're going forward, I think back to when Sabri was winning games. Do you know, these guys are good players. What I would do with a striker, I keep seeing Dwight Gale mention up.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about him in a minute. Dwight Gale, we'll be linked with him.
But the thing is, we're 3 years too late again, aren't we? Do you know, it's the Ariarta thing, it's the knockout thing. You know, if we'd have signed these players 3 years ago when we was under Sabri or somewhere like that, I know that's pie in the sky, but if we'd have signed them then, when we was a better championship team, they wouldn't have took us to the next level. Dwight Gale now is going to cost a lot of money, been injured a long time, not played very much. Do you know what type of player I'd really like? I spoke to you about this walking away from the Barnsley game earlier in the season. A Matt Smith. Do you know?
Yes.
Somebody who's going to be pushing defenders all over the place, you know, ragging them about, you know, stood on the 6-yard lines, penalty spot when the crosses are coming in, making some of Joe Lolly's and Brennan Johnson's crosses look better, you know, because he'd get his head on them. Because they do get the ball in, you know, and Zinkernagel, you know, and someone who's just going to win every header in the box. You know, we saw Fletcher at Stoke. Yeah. You know, he wasn't brilliant, but he was a handful. You know, and sometimes when our strikers are not firing, they're just too easy to play against. And I just want some. You know, we had Murphy, but he wasn't. He was aging again.
I like Darren Murphy. I did.
I like him as well, but I want somebody like really aggressive. You know, somebody who's really sort of in the faces. That Mitrovic type. Obviously, we're not going to get Mitrovic or someone like that. But that type of player who's just going to stick his head on anything, probably going to use his elbows when the ref's not looking. You know, we're just too nice at times, aren't we? Some of these games we should have saw that, and these 0-0s, you know, a bit of a nasty guy. We've seen it so many times at the City ground, haven't we? Where like last 5 minutes, this big guy's popped up and scored a header or that kind of thing. So that's what I think right now in this position, until Cooper's had a couple of windows to shape the team, I think that's what we're really missing.
People, if anyone agrees or disagrees with Dad, put in the comments below. And I think I agree with you 100% on that, because I think, you know what I wanted? I don't know if people know this. It was someone like, and I think I disagreed with Malcolm. Players like Connor Wickham. I think he's at, where is he? I think he's at Sheffield Wednesday, I think. So I loved him. At Forest. Even like Brem Brittard Diaz. He's out of contract, isn't he? At the end of the season. Why not? We could get him. Well, it is what it is.
I don't think so. I think he's going the other way.
Why not, Des?
He's going the other way. He's going to Seville, isn't he?
Hey, Seville, yeah, I heard Seville wanted him as well. So he's going to go to Seville. He's going to play with Rafa Mir. So I don't know what's going to happen.
There's one for Des. Des, if you start firing, we'll be deadly, mate. Yeah, we will be bloody.
I keep saying I still think we can do the playoffs. So that
people in the comments. Do you agree with Des? Do you think we'll playoffs? Right, this is for you, Nick, as well, because Nick, right, the form we're on, right? Do you think Forest can make the playoffs? I know we started really bad, but Nick, what's your opinion? Do you think Forest can make a late charge in the playoffs, or do you think it'll be too late?
Guess that depends on what happens in January in the next transfer window. Really, depends on if I think as Des pointed out, if we can keep those two players on loan, we stand a decent chance knowing what they're like. But I don't know. I wouldn't want to put me out in there at the moment.
Come on, Nick. You've got to say it, Nick.
I don't think we'll make it. I think we'll just fall out of it. We won't be there.
Right. So
it's a big ask. It's a big ask.
It is a massive ask. And what was yours, Adam? Because I'll say my opinion. Then. What's yours, Adam? Do you think we'll make a playoff like Des says?
I think I agree with Nick in a certain degree because it depends on what we can get in January. Whoever we get in January is going to make the difference. The additions we've got. If Jed Spence's going to go back to Middlesbrough, he's going to be playing under a new manager again. So he's going to learn how he plays. It's not how Warnock plays; it's how Wilder's going to play. So it's a big risk for him as a player to go back to his parent club and play under a new manager. Now he's got used to playing under Steve Cooper. It just depends on what him and his agent is going to say. But in that sense, I'd love for Jed Spence to stay at Forest. He's great going forward as well. I see the odd games where he could track his man a little bit better, but you know what? It's just a minor criticism because he's a fantastic right wing back. Every player has their weaknesses. It's like grabbing it caught offside a lot. That's his weakness. But it's with regards to January. Whoever comes in is it's either going to make us or break us because when it comes to playoffs, it's either going to make us or break us because of the additions. They're going to make the difference. That's going to get us surged towards the playoffs, or it's just going to probably just keep us mid-table. I'll be happy with mid-table. Don't get me wrong, especially after the start we've had to the season. However, if we get the quality in that January transfer window, like the Tottenham Hotspur lad, I've got his name now, the winger. If we get him in, perhaps, and get a young striker in, I won't bring Dwight Gale in a million years, especially after.
Right, listen. Dwight Gale, he's got a good record in the Championship. Yes, he's 31 years old, but he's got a good record. Come on.
I know.
People in the comments. Would you want Dwight Gale in a Forest shirt? Because I know we've been linked with him 10,000 times, but he's a proven striker in the league. He did well for West Brom.
The thing is, it's we've got Graben, he's 32. We've got Lantin, he's 31. Like Dwight Gale, I would have had him a few years ago. He's one of those strikers now. He's passed himself by date, I think. So you need someone like a Ryan Brewster, someone similar to him who's going to be hungry.
Yeah, that's what there's a comment from JC Law. And do you want Brewster? This is for Daz. Do you want Brewster? Daz? This is for everyone else. Do you like? We've been linked with him. As everyone knows, Brewster he played with Cooper at Swansea as well. But Brewster, Daz, would you want him?
If Steve Cooper wants Brewster and thinks he can work with him, and he doesn't break the bank, although that's nothing to do with us, I would take him. Because I saw in North in the Sheffield United home game when he played us. Yeah. I made the point back then that the one thing Brewster did, I think he was playing off the left or whichever side he was coming in off. It was one or the other. Yeah. He wasn't playing straight through the middle, but he was getting in the positions to score. He was obviously badly out of form. His touch wasn't great. like when he did shoot, there was kind of straight into Samba's sort of arms and things like that. But he got 2 or 3 shots away. And when a striker's out of form, but they are a good striker, they get into the positions. All they're asked to do is get into the positions. And when that goal comes, again, we've been speaking about confidence and momentum. You know, I feel if Brewster in that game had got one, you know, he might have gone on to get another because he was getting into some really, really good positions.
Yeah.
So whilst I wouldn't sort of break the bank to get him and I wouldn't be too disappointed, same with Dwight Gale. You know, if we did sign him, you go, oh, yeah, we'll take him. But I'm not that bothered either way. He's one of them, a bit like Nick spoke about Cooper and I said it back then. You kind of wait and see sometimes, you know, and go, oh, yeah, that was a good decision. So I think if he's available, if Cooper really thinks he can work with him and he can do a better job than what we've got, you know, take him by all means, because I saw something in him to think if he gets a goal or two, he could sort of hit the ground running.
So people like in the comments, who would you want as a foreign striker? Like, we know Jamie's going to be. We've been linked with XYZ. So people in the comments, who would you want as a foreign striker? Like I said, we've been linked with Dwight Gale. We've been linked with everyone. So people in the comments, who would you want? Right, next subject. We've had 5 minutes in. Like I said, people get your comments in if you want to ask any questions as well to Des, Adam or Nick. Put them well. Like I said, people, if you want to donate towards the channel, please do. It would be a massive help. Like I said, this is a tricky subject, and it was Nick that brought it up. That's why Nick came on this as well. Like, and everyone knows what's happening in Derby County, and those Forest fans, like myself, and I know Des and Nick would be laughing as well in the background. I've been laughing about what's happened to Derby County, and we know everyone knows like they're in deep trouble. And if you know people. Now, Doctor's days, we were in deep trouble, and I remember other teams was like laughing at us. And I see on social media like I'll chirp in sometimes with it. And Forest fans in the comments, do you feel sorry for Derby? This is the question that I want to ask. Like, do you feel sorry for Derby on the way the finances? Like, do you want them to come out of business? I'll have my opinion in a minute, but I'm gonna start with you, Nick. Like. Nick, what's your opinion on the whole Derby situation? And as a Forest fan, do you feel sorry for him? Yes or no?
No. However, who would want their club to be in that situation? So It wasn't that long ago when we were in that kind of area. You know, we had an owner that wasn't particularly very good at paying bills, and he could have walked out, as could our current owners just walk out and leave us in a shed load of debt, which is what Mel's done over at Derby, isn't it? I mean, what's he left? 70 million quid's worth of debt or something.
Yeah.
And who's going to buy that? Who's going to buy that debt? I know someone's going to come in and buy it for £1, but they're buying 70 million quid's worth of debt. And who doesn't pay the inland revenue? 23 million.
Exactly.
It's there's a lot of stuff wrong there. But if somebody doesn't buy it, then they're going to go under, aren't they? You know, they could disappear quite easily.
What do you want? Do you want that? Like,
I don't want any club to disappear, and we wouldn't want to miss that rivalry, would we?
No,
that's a rivalry we have, and you know, I know this is a bit of banter most of the time, but then obviously there's some bitter rivalry there as well. But you know, if the shoe was on the other foot, I'd be really upset about it. I want my club disappearing.
5%.
And it's a tradition. It's what people do every Saturday, and have done for the 150 years or however long Derby have been around for. You know, to see that disappear just because of bad management and bad financial management, and that's all people them just try to get into the Premier League, trying to get that big payday, that big money payday, and what they're doing, they're spending fortunes at trying to do it, and hoping that they can, and it's not paying off, and it's not paying off for a lot of clubs. And I think any club that's not in the Premier League, certainly in the parachute payments, that those type of clubs that have come down are all at risk of going under quite badly, in my opinion.
Yeah, like I said, you got teams like, is it Bury, Who's the other team that been as well? Borough. Like it happened to Rangers as well. Like Rangers got bust.
Rangers went busted.
Yeah, they did.
They went bust as well. They had to start in Division 4, League 4, and I look at them now. They've gone up. Like I don't want Derby to do that. Like I don't want them to get bust and go to be Derby FC and that. But Des, like I see your face is a little bit chippy. I think Des, what do you think, Des?
Do you know, I find it hilarious because they laugh at us every time we've been in a mess, and we've been in it a few times. No, it's not. It's hilarious from a Forest fan. It's not an hilarious situation, do you know. But the reality is, do you know, in some shape or form, Derby will still be there, like Rangers. Do you know, I know Bury have gone, but a club the size of Derby will not disappear. And I don't want to get too technical about this and sound like I know too much about it because I don't. But you think from the Inland Revenue's point of view, if someone comes in and kind of makes a deal with them, think of the money that Derby and wages and big crowds pay into the Inland Revenue each year. Do you know, so it sounds like an awful lot of money, you know, to me and you, the average man on the street. But football clubs and footballers' wages put a lot of money back into the pot. So the Inland Revenue don't want them to disappear, you know. So they'll do everything they can, and I think what will happen ultimately, they'll strike a deal sort of with a new owner, you know, and it'll all go low key, and then all of a sudden they come back again. Teams the size of somebody might come back and say you're talking rubbish, and it happens in 3 weeks. Teams like Derby don't go bust. You know, the only one that has is Bury, and it's probably the smallest club in the Football League at the time. You know, and I know that's no justification. That's devastating for Bury and their fans. But in my lifetime watching football, how many times we've seen this? Portsmouth, you know,
Portsmouth as well.
Sunderland, Leicester, you know, all sorts of things going on, and they never really go bust. There's one or two that the really tiny football, Macclesfield, you know, Aldershot was one back in the day. Maidstone, I think. But these teams were really small football clubs that probably didn't put that much. So when the Inland Revenue think we're not going to get anything back ever, you know, because they don't get much. But Derby County paying people 20, 25 grand a week, you know, they're going to get a lot of tax paid on that, you know. So I don't see them going anywhere, you know. If it comes to a Rangers situation where they come back as Derby FC, it's still Derby County, you know, and we can just take the piss out of them for being a Phoenix club, you know, that kind
of thing. Nice.
No, I don't want to laugh, but that would, yeah.
But they'll be there, you know, and they'll come again. You know, Leicester went down to League One, didn't they? You know, and then look where they. Southampton was another team.
Southampton as well. Yeah, they were as well.
Do you know, there's so many loopholes in this that they've seen, and we're the only ones who've not worked it properly. It seems, and gone and got a double promotion. but no, it's not funny. It really isn't funny. Do you know, I don't feel sorry for them because of it's like that typical old thing, isn't it? They hate us a little bit more than we really hate them in reality. You know, it's a bit like Notts County, it's a bit like Scotland, England. You know, it's that thing where they really, really can't stand us. So they would just see us go down tomorrow. But you know, put them in League One, put them in the conference, whatever. You know, let them have a few years to stew on it, and then
exactly.
No, because all I'm bothered about is Forest being a bigger club. Do you know, I was really proud when they couldn't beat us. You know, if they've got no chance of beating us, and then when they do come back, they're a smaller club. You know,
exactly. Well, you know, what is this question for Newcastle? I feel sorry for the fans and staff, not the club. Just want to see them fighting around League One as they deserve. Yeah, like everyone's opinion. My opinion is I want them to. They'll go down. They will get relegated. I want them to stay there for 3 or 4 seasons. Who's goes to the Premiership? Like I said, I don't want them to be liquidated. I think that's a step too far for me because, like I said, I've had my little laugh with the Derby fans, and I got a great relationship with Lisa. She's a Derby fan as well. But yeah, I don't want them out of business. It is bad. But like I said, it's none of my business. It's none of my business. And
we just spoke about it for 15 minutes.
But yeah, it is what it is. Last but not least, I can get everyone's opinion. Like I said, we've got a massive game coming up, and it's a massive. Like I said, it's a massive December for us. As everyone knows, like December is a horrible month for us. Like we don't do too well. And we've got, like I said, we've got Peterborough, we've got Swansea. Who we got after Swansea?
Hull.
Hull, and we've got Middlesbrough. And it's a tough December. But I'll start with you, Nick. Like, how many points do you think we'll get in December?
So what matches have we got coming up?
We've got Peterborough, Swansea, Hull, Middlesbrough. Who else we got? We've got people in the comments as well.
Huddersfield?
I think we have.
I don't know.
I think it's Huddersfield.
So we've got. I'm just looking at the fixtures.
Yeah, me too.
We've got Peterborough at home, Swansea away, Hull at home, Middlesbrough away, and then we've got Huddersfield, and then just after Huddersfield at home, and then just after New Year, we've got Barnsley at home.
The thought so, yeah.
So right. So let's start with you, Nick. Right, people in the comments as well. How many points do you think we'll get in December?
That's 6 games. 6 games.
6 games. There's a couple of tough games there as well, isn't there?
Yeah, Middlesbrough away. That's always a tough game.
Yeah, it's always a tough game. Hoping that we'll get the 3 points tomorrow. I could see Swansea being a draw.
Oh, we've got good record at Swansea there, haven't we? Though I don't want to talk about the playoffs. So no. How many points do you feel get, Nick?
But look, I think we'd do well if we got 7-9 points, something like
that. Out of the 7-9 points?
Yeah.
Aren't you confident?
They haven't given me any confidence over the last 2 games, so it's knocked it completely out of me. I was buzzing a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, dude, I think we all was, to be fair. But yeah, so Nick says 7 points, right? 7 points.
7 or 9, yeah.
Okay, so
I'd like to think we get 9, but
so Nick says 9 points, 7-9 points. Adam, how many points do you think we'll get?
I think we'll get 12. I think we'll get 12. I think Swansea, Swansea those type of games, I think, it's going to be a draw and all that. But I think we can get a few wins, in between those games. So I'd say 12 points, something like that. I'd say because I'd take 12 points, going into Christmas because, like you said, we don't normally do well Christmas period. So I'd take 12 points.
Yeah. What about you, Mr. Do Daly?
I think 4 of those 6 at home are definitely winnable. All of them are very winnable. That doesn't mean we're going to win them. Of course, I know it's been uninspiring, and the reason I think we can still get to the playoffs is because if a new manager comes in and he's not at that winning run like Cooper had, the draw, what they look to do is kind of build from the back, don't they? In a struggling team, you're looking to keep clean sheets. You're looking to shut people out, and we've started doing that. We've not conceded more than 1 for quite a while now. I think building on that, if we get a good result against Peterborough, you take it into a game against Swansea, with confidence again. Really looking forward to that one. I
can't wait.
I'm really up for Swansea. I think it's going to be a cracking atmosphere. I think Cooper's going to have them fired up. He's not going to want to lose that game. And I think he's going to want to go there and make a point, isn't he? Because he left under a cloud as well. So it's just about stringing 2 or 3 together, isn't it? And I think what we'll get with Cooper at times is little sequences of 3, 4, 5 games where we win, and then 3, 4, 5 games where we draw or don't win. Like perhaps draw or lose. But I think this is an opportunity, having got the opposition who we've got tomorrow, and then the massive game next week. You take that into 2 home games, then. It's Middlesbrough after that. Sorry, you take a point. You take 7 points or 5 points into those 2 home games. you could be looking at sort of 11, 12 points, and that's going to be more than enough to move us 3-4 places up the league again. And then sort of league table position instills even more confidence, from being 7 points off the playoffs, you're 4 points off the playoffs, you're 3 points off the playoffs, by fluke of fixtures, if you play a game before like a Friday or something and you win, you're in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And that's what we've had a little bit, where we had those 2 games, a Sunday and it was the Fulham QPR game, wasn't it? And I just thought if we could have won that QPR game, we would have just gone on again. The confidence had gone. We're just looking to get that first win, I think. And when we get that, I think you'll see 2 or 3 come in pretty short, in a short time.
So that's everyone's opinion. I personally think we'll beat Peterborough. Like Swansea, we've not beaten them for the last 3 games, have we? We lost last season three times. So
we drew 2-2 under Sabi Lamucci. But Andre Ayew dived in the penalty area. He dived. Yeah.
So I think I'll go for. I'll be happy with 12 points. 10 or 12 points. I'll go for. I think I know. Like I said, December is a bad month for us. So I think I'll go for 12 points. But I think we'll win tomorrow against a defensive people side tomorrow. But yeah, people, it's been a pleasure. Thank you, Do Daily Des, for coming to the channel. And as one people, subscribe to Do Daily. Please subscribe to him. Like I said, he is a YouTuber like me.
You two guys, subscribe.
Subscribe to
it's a big percentage of my subscribers.
I'll find you later.
People, everyone subscribe to Do Daily. Like he does a fantastic channel as well. It's more mental health running as well. So people go on, find Do Daily, subscribe to him. Adam, thank you for coming on, Adam.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Ben, as always, pleasure.
And last but not least, Nick. This is Nick's first time as well, and like I said, people put in the comments, put some love towards Nick. But Nick, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much, Nick.
No, thank you very much for letting me come on.
Yeah, now Nick, people in the comments, do you want Nick back on? Because like I said, it's his debut today on my channel, and it was a pleasure. As well, people, and like I said, Nick's debut as well. And if anyone who wants to come on my channel, you can come on. But if you're like I said, please, you got to be over 16 on the channel, because like I said, I need parents' permission to come on this channel. But yeah, people, like I said, if you are new to the channel, please do hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and then like I said, I am at the game tomorrow. I'll be around the ground tomorrow, and if you want to be on my vlog, subscribe. You can get a score prediction as well. But thank you, people. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace and love, and up the forest.
Up the forest. One body tonight. One the